On Osrc News at 7. State Ondo security agents clamp down on illegal miners, arrest 12. Osrc gauges experts' opinion over import duty waiver approved by federal government. And from the foreign scene, citizens march to express concerns over economy in Argentina. And thanks for joining us on the news at 7. I am Sahid Aribisala. We begin the news tonight from the legislative arm of government, where the Ondo State House of Assembly has asked the local government transition committees and the heads of local government administration to appear before it to account for their financial allocations in the last 6 months. The lawmakers who gave a nod to the decision at a plenary presided over by the Speaker Olamide Oladiji said transparency and accountability at the local government level are very important to cushion the effects of economic hardship being witnessed. The Speaker therefore directed the Clerk of the House, Mr. Jayola Benjamin, to communicate the concerned authorities to appear before the House on or before Friday, 16th August 2024. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has approved the appointment of Mr. Bayo Rojubokon as the acting chairman of the Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. His appointment follows the resignation of the former chairman, Mr. Tolu Adebie. Mr. Bayo Rojubokon, a tax, financial and management accounting expert, holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Ado-Ekiti, now Ekiti State University, and a master's degree from Babcock University. The governor charged Mr. Rojubokon to use his wealth of experience and expertise to enhance the internally generated revenue in the state. Meanwhile, Governor Ayedatiwa has also approved the appointment of 2 members of the State Universal Basic Education Board to fill the vacant positions in the board. They are Olariwaju Oyelade, who will serve as full-time member, and Prince Wale Akinsulere as part-time board member. The governor urged the new appointees to put in their best efforts in serving the people of the state in their respective capacities. In a bid to tackle the surge of illegal mining in Ondo State, the state government has empowered its security task force to collaborate with security agencies in ridding the state of criminals stealing solid minerals across the state. The joint operation of the task force and the Nigerian Army has recorded a major feat with the arrest of 12 individuals carrying out illegal mining in the state. Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Security, Olubenga Atiba, said proactive measures are being put in place to curb the menace of illegal mining and other security challenges in the state. Mr. Atiba, speaking during the parade of the 12 arrested suspects at the barracks of the 32 Artillery Brigade of the Nigerian Army in Akure, revealed that the illegal miners were caught while the task force was acting on credible intelligence to combat kidnapping activities in the state. He said the state had deployed security agents across the 3 senatorial districts and had also identified some individuals, including some local leaders, who are involved in the activities. Chairman of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Kunle Adebayo, has reiterated commitments of the 3 media stations, Osrc TV, Orange 94.5 FM and Sunshine 96.5 FM, Alalaye, in enlightening the general public on environmental safety, while playing host to the State Environmental Protection Agency led by its chairman, who also doubles as the special advisor to the Governor on Environment, Dr. Olayemi Adeyemi. The chairman said it is high time stakeholders synergized with Osrc to manage the imminent flooding predicted by NIMET. Omar Language has details.
It is no more news that being among the coastal states with history of flood disasters in Nigeria, Ondo State was again alerted of the serious imminent flooding if preventive measures are not put in place. The chairman, Ondo State Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Olayemi Adeyemi, on a courtesy visit to OSRC headquarters, lauded the station's programs, which, according to him, are in line with the vision of the agency to save the state from avoidable disaster. He frowned at the indiscriminate dumping of refuse and other illegal acts by some members of the public seeking collaboration with the media station in managing the situation.
One of the areas that I know that can aid us, that can support us, that can project us, that can project the state more is your noble station. Thank God as of today, with Lord God on our side, we've never had that much breakdown of cholera in Ondo State, but we cannot continue doing things that way. That's the reason why I think one of my first assignments before I start going out, before we start enforcing any law, before we start inspecting any place, before we start taking anybody to court martial or to any mobile court, before we start sanctioning anybody, let's give them a proper sensitization. Let's give them a good orientation. And that is where I think one of the best places I can go, where I will get best results, is not because it's a state-owned station, but because one of those stations that have the largest crowd.
Responding, Chairman of OSRC, Kunle Adebayo, described the visit as timely. He railed off some of the interventions of the media group through various programs like Ayikawa, Oju Ojoloni, and many more on the news and current affairs programs, saying the establishment is working with the state government in ensuring the welfare and security of the people.
Globally today, the most important concept of welfare is environment. Because if there is real flood that carries everybody away, there's nothing to administer, there's nothing to secure. We need to do collaboration in terms of programming. In this station today, this project, we have about 7 jingles on environment. Full of bush, and stations. We can more talking to.
According to him, it is the responsibility of people to manage their proper synergy among stakeholders for timely intervention.
We need to work with you to increase your community engagement. We can also support that. I think also, sir, we need to work on taking advantage of IT. Most of our operations, you in fact see better on your phone. For instance, I don't know if you have been watching OSRC on your phone, on YouTube or Facebook. If you subscribe or you like it, every time there is news, it will pop up on its own. All our programs on radio, they get live stream on phone. We have a large following on that. I think we need to take advantage of that.
Adebayo encouraged the agency to strengthen its information unit for proper communication. Omoriola Mbiji, OSRC News.
The health and well-being of people at the grassroots must be taken seriously towards safeguarding the health of the nation. It is in line with this priority that the authorities of Akure South Local Government, Akure East Local Council Development Area (LCDA), Akure West (LCDA), and the Oyemekun (LCDA) embarked on a free medical outreach for residents. Chairman, Akure South Local Government, Benga Fashua, emphasized at the flag-off of the exercise that the health of the people will receive proper attention through the monthly outreach. Details as presented from our studios.
It was a joint effort among the council areas in the state capital to pay proper attention to the healthcare of residents. The efforts culminated into the monthly free medical outreach to enable people across Akure South Local Government, Akure East LCDA, Akure West, and the Oyemekun LCDA access the free service at 6 designated centers. At the flag-off of the exercise, Chairman of Akure South Local Government, Mr. Benga Fashua, explained that the program was designed to lessen the burden of residents at this critical period.
We saw this initiative at the state level being done by Honorable Lucky Odimisu-Aiyedatiwa. And we feel there's a need for us to replicate same in Akure South metropolis, not only in Akure South local government, which cut across Akure West, Akure East, and Kuyemekun SCDA. I haven't seen these developments done by the state government. I feel it will be a service for the replicate same here, and then to show indeed the interest of the people is the reason why we are there to give our best service, to render the best for the people that we are leading. If you need to come to do this free medical outreach across the entity of Akure.
Mr. Fashua, accompanied by his colleague chairman Kaode Taiwo of Akure East, Sunday Adejigbe of Akure West, and Ifedayo Ologumeta of Oyemekun LCDA, expressed satisfaction with the turnout of residents of the 6 centers of the free medical outreach. Kemisola Jomo, Osrc News.
The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has condemned the raid on its headquarters in Abuja by security operatives, calling it a severe infringement on democratic rights and freedoms. The Congress emphasized that even during the military regime, such invasions of their headquarters were unheard of. This action, they argue, marks a new low in security operations in Nigeria and a dangerous precedent for the nation's democracy. A statement by NLC's head of media and public relations, Benson Opa, said the Labour House was invaded by a mix of personnel from the Nigeria Police Force, the Department of State Services, DSS, and unidentified operatives dressed in plainclothes. The invasion came hours after the NLC's National Executive Council meeting had denounced the heavy-handed tactics used by security forces against protesters and the use of treason to describe peaceful demonstrations. Meanwhile, the Department of State Services, DSS, has denied allegations of conducting a raid on the Nigeria Labour Congress's headquarters in Abuja. This is in response to the alarm raised by NLC, claiming that Labour House was raided by security personnel. Responding to the alleged raid on the NLC office in Abuja, the spokesperson for the service, Peter Afunaya, clarified that the DSS did not carry out any operation at the NLC office. The Jigawa State Police Command says it has arrested not less than 277 suspected looters. The command spokesman, DSP Lawan Shishu Adam, explained that the arrests were carried out in Gumel, Roni and Breno Kudu local government areas of the state. He added that some items were recovered from the looters. The Abuja Residents Youth Association has declared a week of peace starting on 11th of August to promote harmonious relationships among youths in Federal Capital Territory. President of the group, Mr. Koshile Mukhtar, at a news conference, there's nationwide hardship and poor governance. He explained that the association would organize various activities during the week, including peace walk, peace talks, prayer sessions, and other events aimed at fostering harmony and understanding among the youths. Mukhtar urged all youths of Abuja, both residents and indigents, to maintain the spirit of peaceful coexistence and provide the government with credible information. We need to take a break on the news at 7. We'll be back with more stories. Please stay with us.
Erabe má bá jà o, má bá bínú, ọ̀nà lọ́rán bá ti rẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ èjú bá dá o ọ̀nà lọ́rán bá ti ṣe tiẹ̀ èjú bá dá o.
Thank you for rejoining us on the news tonight. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV. Ondo. To more stories now, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikpe Ekpo has said that its surest path to national prosperity is the utilization of Nigeria's gas resources by the federal government. He noted that Nigeria is endowed with vast natural gas resources with approximately 209 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserves. The minister stressed the need to harness these resources effectively to drive economic development, highlighting President Bola Tinubu's support for the gas sector, with initiatives extending to the entire value chain. According to EPO, these initiatives are aimed at lowering the cost of living and transportation and positively impacting every part of the country. EPO outlined key initiatives the ministry is pursuing, including investments in critical gas infrastructure to support the transportation and distribution of natural gas across the country, promotion of domestic gas utilization for power generation, industrial applications, and transportation. The federal government's recent implementation of an import duty waiver on food commodities has been met with widespread commendations from industry experts and the general public. The initiative has also drawn criticism as financial and industry experts warned that extending it over 150 days could cause long-term economic difficulties. Osrc's Tosin Adeboali has more.
Following the announcement of a 150 duty-free import window on food commodities by the federal government of Nigeria, financial experts and business owners have commended the import duty waiver for its ability to stimulate economic growth and reduce consumer costs. The new food import policy, according to the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kwari, is part of the government's policy to cut food inflation, which has climbed to over 40%. However, stakeholders are united in their call for the federal government to strictly maintain the announced 150-day window of the policy, as exceeding 150 days can make the policy lose its purpose of ensuring long-term economic stability. The chairman of Ondo State Agricultural Commodities Association, Chief Abiodun Adejo, highlighted the waiver's benefits. He claimed the policy is a timely intervention that can significantly lower production costs for manufacturers and also increase competitiveness in the agricultural sector.
For us to have a permanent solution to food insecurity in the country, the farmers must be assisted. And importation of good finished product from overseas or from anywhere in the world to the country, it will be killing the agricultural sector. But for him, for what he's doing now, maybe as he said, for 6 months, he's going to do this, and after which he's going to stop the importation or the that waiver. And definitely, if he stops it, agricultural producers will be able to at least sell their own produce. Because one thing is to go to the farm and produce all these materials, and another thing is to sell it in a good price that will take you back to the farm. If the prices are not good enough to take you back to the farm, definitely you will not go back again.
An agricultural expert at Federal University of Technology, Akure, Professor Ayo Olalusi, expressed strong support for the import duty waiver, claiming the development can help reduce the cost of goods, making them more accessible to ordinary Nigerians and stimulate economic activities.
The alternatives cannot meet the immediate demand. For example, input supply, and then the government encouraging local production. And the government also encouraging subsidy during production, like through the tillage facilities like tractors, harrows, and other facilities and processing equipment. Those are long-term alternatives. I think what the government is doing for this short time is encouraged.
Another financial expert, Koforola Akinjo, emphasized the need for close monitoring of the implementation to prevent exploitation of the waivers.
It is always good to throw a competition in an economy. An economy must be perfectly competitive, and you cannot grow an economy if you don't encourage capitalism. It must be a capitalistic economy for the economy to grow. So if you want to encourage people to come in, you must also encourage them to come in so that the local production can be competitive, so that they can as well know that they are competing with international standards. If you do waiver on agricultural products, perfect. Do waiver, you still need, what happens to the electricity? There's an increase in the electricity tariff. The federal government is removing total subsidy on it. The economic policies from the administration is harsh.
While the import duty waiver offers immediate economic benefits, the government faces the challenge of mitigating any adverse effects on local industry and small businesses. Tosin Adibowale, OSRC News.
Outside Nigeria now, Sudan's capital, after nearly 16 months of conflict between the army and the RSF, is devastated. Buildings are scarred, roads littered with ammunition casings, and basic services disrupted. Omdurman residents struggle with limited water and electricity. Restoration efforts are slow and partial, hindered by ongoing control issues. Khartoum, once home to over 8 million, is now a battlefield, with many residents forced to leave due to violence and lack of services. Kemisola Ajum has details.
Buildings carry the scars of the fighting, roads littered with ammunition cases, and car riddled with bullet holes. This is what most of Sudan's capital looks like after 15 months of conflicts between the army and the rapid support forces. Basic services have been disrupted in many areas. Soda Ali lives in Umrah, the second largest city. She fills up a barrel at a water truck twice a week. Artillery shelling has destroyed pipes and supply networks in this neighborhood.
The only way to get water is from tankers. We struggle to get clean water. We get tired from carrying it, and when we get home, we can barely do anything. And there isn't even enough. We only get water from the trucks every 3 or 4 days. Cleaning the house and washing clothes is difficult. Everything needs water.
Street bathtubs have damaged electricity poles, interrupting power supplies. This is the first time in months Neza Ibrahim has had electricity. The army recently regained areas from the paramilitary group and repaired some of the power grid.
Electricity is a necessity in life. It is a major part of our lives, so its restoration encourages people to return home. I had reached a point where it was a luxury to find somewhere to charge my phone and call my family outside the country. Now finally, I can do that at home.
In some neighborhoods, signs of restoration can be seen, but they are only a fraction of the capital.
In parts of Omdurman, the damage is extensive, so it's difficult for us to provide electricity there. It may be some time before we can fix it, and there are parts of the city that are still under the control of the rapid support forces, so we can't get there to restore power.
And some services are not easy to restore. Hospitals have been damaged, limiting people's access to health care, and law and order no longer exists in areas under RSF control. Because of that, most of the streets in the capital now look like this one. Very little signs of life and activity, and reminders that there were once people here who have since been forced to leave. Atham was once home to more than 8 million people. Many have left because of the violence or lack of services, and those who have stayed have to deal with what it has become, a battlefield for two generals who once ruled it together. Kemisola Jom, OSRC News.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has called for an emergency meeting on monkeypox following its spread outside the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. Mpox, formerly called monkeypox, is a viral disease endemic in Central and West Africa. Mpox came to global prominence 2 years ago after cases emerged across the world amid the COVID-19 pandemic. In light of the situation and the potential for further international spread within and outside Africa, WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus convened an emergency committee to advise him on whether the outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern. Ghebreyesus said the DRC had been experiencing a severe outbreak of Mpox since the beginning of the year, with more than 14,000 cases and 511 deaths reported. According to him, Mpox has been confirmed in Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda, while the Clat 1A have been reported this year in the DRC and the Central African region. Republic and the Republic of Congo, while cases of Clat 2 have been reported in Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Nigeria, and South Africa. A religious pilgrimage is taking on extra meaning in Argentina. Economic challenges have added a political dimension as thousands of Catholics made their way to a church in the capital. Shoma Adetola has details.
Long lines of people waiting outside the San Carlos Sanctuary in Buenos Aires is the patron saint of break and walk in a country where poverty and unemployment are on the rise. Sandra Nones says she is concerned about the current situation in Argentina.
I'm here so that we can improve, so that our future, our children, don't have to leave here for what they need. For all of them, so they don't go hungry or cold. Because Argentina is such a rich country, so rich, and yet we have to endure such hardships that our children are leaving. That's why I come.
Every year, thousands of people attend the Mass, but this time it was different. Labor unions and left-wing groups decided to march from the parish towards the presidential palace to protest against the government of Javier Milei. Since taking office 8 months ago, Milei has ordered the layoff of almost 50,000 state employees of the old public works, lifted subsidies on electricity, gas and transportation, among other measures to bring down the deficit to zero and reduce inflation.
Our salaries are not enough because everything seems to be going up in price. I come here to find people who have things in common with me.
Economists say an austerity plan was necessary